Welcome to another vlog. Welcome to another episode of Vlogtober. Don't judge me. Yes, you probably saw this outfit in a previous video, but I am a firm believer of what? Work smarter, not harder. So to get all of these videos out every day, sometimes I have to do 2 videos in a day, okay? But today I'm just going to be doing one of my favorite fall soups because we're getting the fall vibes with some soups. And then we're also going to do a little chit chat, okay? I will talk to you guys in just a little. So we're going to be making some bacon potato corn chowder soup. And I have my potatoes. They haven't started boiling, but I just cut my potatoes up, just put them on, and I'm frying my bacon right now. And I'm about to cut up some onions so when my bacons get done, I can use that bacon grease to saute my onions. Yeah, baby, Alrighty, I just got done making me and my daughter a bowl. Very yummy, and I'm just gonna tell you exactly what I use for this recipe. This is bacon potato corn chowder, and all I do is very simple. In a large skillet, you're gonna just cook the bacon. Once the bacon is done cooking, of course, you're gonna cut it in like strips or bits, whatever your preference is. After that, in that same bacon grease, just add your onions and saute them. And then while you're doing that, you're gonna peel and cube some potatoes. About 5 or 6 is what I use for my servings or my recipe. So you're gonna peel and cube those and boil them, and cooking the bacon and onion as you boil them. Once the potatoes are nice and tender, usually takes about I usually do mine for about 15 to 18 minutes, depends. After they're boiled, then I will add cream style corn. I use 2 cans, okay? I use 2 cans of cream style corn. Each can is about 14 and a quarter ounces. And then I add my milk. For milk, I use heavy whipping cream, about a pint. I use the whole pint of that. And then also, I just season to taste. And when I season, I use salt and pepper and a little bit of seasoned salt. And then I just mix it all together. When you boil the potatoes, just make sure you save a little bit of the potato water. I usually save about 1.5 to 2 cups of the potato water. But that is just a very easy bacon potato corn chowder. I found this recipe on the internet about 4 or 5 years ago. But of course, I substitute some stuff. The original recipe has that you use evaporated milk. It only used 1 can of cream style corn. Things like that, I switched out and made it my own, which I will link also the original recipe down in the description box, and you can also alter it to your taste. And that is it. One more thing is I like to add a little bit of cheese to mine. So I do have some mild cheddar cheese still left over. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of sprinkle of this into my soup and call it a day. Alrighty guys, so I just got done with dinner. Dinner was so delicious. That soup was so good. So definitely check it out. Like I said, I will have the original recipe in the description box, but I do substitute some things. But anyways, I just wanted to do a little chit chat. Just gonna talk about marriage life, or advice for newlyweds and things like that. Of course, I am not an expert. Me and my husband, we have had so many issues, but it's things that I have learned during the journey of this life, okay? So, I actually had met my husband back in 2014. I was in my, I met him in 2014 and I was still in the military, but I think it was like my last year and a half of being in the military or something in that nature. And he had actually just got out. And he had actually just got out of the military as a Marine, and he was starting his new career journey as a police officer at that time. So this was back in 2014 or 2013. One of those years. But we ended up getting married in June of 2015. And I would say during this journey, one thing that I realized is like that works best for us is basically you know your spouse, you know your marriage. Don't listen to outsiders. Do what's best for you guys, because you're the only one that's going to be living in it. You're the only ones that's going to have to deal with those mistakes, those lessons, all of that. So I would just say my number one advice is keep everybody out your business and just kind of trust in each other and kind of compromise. It was very hard for me to compromise at the beginning because, you know, I had my whole wild life, being single forever, or having those relationships but not taking those relationships as serious. So committing and compromising was very, very, it took a while. It took a while to get to that point. And then I will also say another advice is have your own life outside of each other. Try to have something that you enjoy doing that doesn't involve your spouse, giving each other that separation, that time, and also being able to still find yourself, which was another lesson that I had to learn the hard way, because as I mentioned, when I first met my husband, I was still in the military. He was, you know, a police officer at the time, and we were on different schedules. It was plenty of times where like he worked first shift, I worked third shift, or it was the opposite. You know, there were plenty of times. So when we did get to see each other, we really missed each other. It was like, hey, you know, I missed you. We got along so great because we did have that little separation. We weren't up under each other. We started having problems when I had got out the military and I was home and we were on the same shift. And then I realized we kind of butted heads a little bit because, of course, when I got out the military, I stayed in Washington because I had met my husband in Washington. So I didn't have any family. All my friends, like I literally got out of the military the week before my ship went on another deployment. So all of my friends that I had in the Navy were left for the deployment. So I just had him. So I got on his nerves and he got on my nerves. And I feel like we kind of butted heads a lot. But once I started, you know, started a new career and we kind of like got our own little separation of what I like, I can do things without him, and I found new friends, we kind of started getting back, you know, we started bonding and getting along again. Another advice I would say is this will come from having kids. After kids can put a lot of strain on marriages. So if you are a newlywed and you're planning on having kids, don't forget your partner after you have a child. And this will probably be one of my biggest lessons, because at this particular time, it did cause a separation. Me and my husband ended up separating for that short period of time, like 6 or 7 months after I had my child. And the reason so is because I'm not gonna say it's all my fault. He takes a lot of blame too, but being a new mother, especially a mother after a loss or after having a rainbow baby, whatever the situation might be, you kind of put all of your time into that new child because you wanted that child so bad. So with me, it was like I was just a mother. My daughter was breastfed. She was on a titty literally 24/7 those first few months. And it got to the point where I barely even talked to my husband for a minute because I kind of felt, I of course, you know, I already battled depression, anxiety, and I was going through postpartum things, and you know, after having her after a loss, and it was just so much emotions. I wasn't myself after I had my child. Like, yes, I was happy, but all my focus was on making sure my baby was safe, making sure she was still breathing, making sure she was full, making sure she was good. And I kind of lost my husband. He kind of got thrown in the background. Like, I didn't care, you know. And there was plenty of times he would come home from work and I just didn't even acknowledge him because I was just so wrapped up in my new bundle of joy. But yes, it got real bad to the point where he kind of fed off of my energy. He kind of like felt like he was doing everything wrong, but he wasn't really doing anything wrong. It's just that my baby was attached to my boobs, and he just, I don't know, it was just something with depression, and then feeling like, you know, he kind of fed off my energy, so he kind of like backed off because he saw that. So there was days I didn't even talk to him, and you know, he felt that, he felt neglected, and I felt neglected because I was literally having a baby on my boobies for 24/7. So that would be another advice I would say if you do plan on having kids. Don't forget your spouse, don't forget your partner during that time. Of course, there's a new baby, but still give each other that attention, you guys. Of course, some things will be different, but trying to find time just for you and your spouse when you bring a new baby into the world. That would be my number one advice. But anyways, I'm going to end this vlog here now, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out.